What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Moviegoers live show. And this is a lot earlier than I would usually be doing this show, but I've actually planned something for later tonight to go see Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. So I'm doing this a little bit earlier. But hey, you know what? Sometimes better to do it early. Sometimes. So, new face to the channel. Our guest here today is a brand new face to the channel. I did follow his some of his content. So please go check him out. An awesome physical media collector. So welcome to the channel, Vin, aka Hard Copy Blues. What's going on, Vin?
Not too much. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it. You've been staying pretty busy with. I noticed you're putting out one or two of these long form conversations almost every week, huh?
I try to, but it also kind of depends on my guests' schedules. So
Yep.
Most of the time, and yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to have you here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's something I got to be better at. I got to take a page out of your book and be a little bit more active and regular with my content, but it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, it is, but you know what? Sometimes for the better. Because sometimes you need the time off, and because of how much content you pump out, sometimes it's you need the time off.
Yep.
So, and also because last year I had to take a break because of things going on in my life, and I was like, I can't pump out content with this kind of stuff going on in my life. So
yeah, it's all about how much free time you have, and plus I enjoy doing more stream based stuff, kind of like this, or panels and things like that. That's mainly what my channel has kind of slowly become. I think I stream live more than I put out pre-recorded content at this point.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of what I do too, but it's sometimes I need to cut that back, and because they go on for a little bit longer than what I usually have them, and because I'm on the free plan, they always have it for a 20-hour limit.
Okay.
So
are you talking about StreamYard?
Yeah, with StreamYard, right? There's a 20-hour limit when you have the free plan.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I pay like 20 for it. So I figure if I'm paying for StreamYard, I try to do lives, at least once or twice or three times a month, but I'm trying to get my money's worth. But
that makes sense. I mean, does it usually depend on is it just the payment per month, or is it based on how many streams you do?
As far as I know, it's flat rate per month.
Okay. Yeah. Because it was based on how many streams you do, I'd be like, well, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
But hey, what can you do?
Yeah. So how long have you had and I see you just recently passed 400 subscribers. Congrats there.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
I've been on for about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I'm coming up on right up on a year myself, actually. So I'm pretty new to it as well here, but it's been fun. You meet a lot of new people, through especially Instagram. I was on Facebook YouTube for a while, and I was kind of on the outskirts of the community still. But then once you hop on Instagram, it's just so much easier to message people or talk to people or connect with people, and then everything kind of really I got a lot more invested, strangely enough, from Instagram into this whole kind of movie community.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did the same too, because it's I found a lot of awesome content creators on YouTube. When I was just I wasn't doing it was around the pandemic when I really started to delve into different content creators, where it was I'm kind of getting tired of just watching the same old things I've been watching over and over again.
Yep.
I want to see some new people. And
yeah, I think the pandemic, a lot of people started up around that time.
Yep. I mean, I didn't exactly start in 2020, but I mean, it was still around the pandemic when I started doing YouTube. It was early 2021 was actually when I started doing YouTube. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think early on, before doing it myself, I watched a couple of really big channels, Films at Home was one that I watched initially. Cody Leach has like a horror based channel that I used to watch a lot of. And then I stumbled upon Mid Level Media, and then somewhere down the line, I just started up a channel because it was pandemic and I had all this free time. And I figure, geez, I'm spending so much time watching movies and I'm spending all of my disposable income on like building this collection. And I don't really have anybody in my life like that has this same hobby that I can really talk about it with. So
Yeah,
it's been nice to this past year to see so many like-minded people and it's been
yeah,
good.
for sure. Like, and I'm glad I've been able to come across a lot of people, even when I get to see random people on different, on like my friends' panels for live streams and all that. That's actually kind of how I come across some other people.
Yep.
Like, and let's
How
see.
did you first stumble upon my channel? Now, were we somehow connected through Tracy?
I think it was yes. I
Uh,
think you might have come across either one of mine, or maybe you were on a stream with Tracy at one point. Like,
we did a Super Mario Brothers stream together where we talked about the new Mario movie.
yep,
And I've had her on my channel for A24 top 10 ranking.
I was in the. I was actually in the chat for that. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that's how I found you out. And again, it's not. I don't always get like I don't always try to just have a phone call with people. Like sometimes I just want to ask and see if that's okay with them first, like before actually meeting.
Yep, yep.
So because sometimes just texting at first can get a little bit boring. So it's like, let's try this and see how it works out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
It's easy to when you have a similar interest and similar hobby. I got my collection behind me on the wall. I see you're surrounded by yours as well. Uh,
yeah,
any idea roughly uh the number on your collection? How many titles you have? If you had to ballpark it?
um, the closest I know that I'm like the closest I know. Like I'm not actually at this number yet, but I'm getting really close to it because of how much movies I have. I'm actually getting close to 1,000
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm
because I
somewhat in there too.
it's not just that I have a lot of movies. I also have separate seasons of different TV shows.
Yep.
Like let's see, I have these separate seasons of Breaking Bad, um, which is my favorite TV show of all time.
Yep. It's up there for me as well.
Um, the complete series, all separate seasons of Dexter. I have all
Okay.
those. And yes, that does also include New Blood. So I mean, I didn't hate New Blood, but just it was ruined by the ending. Like,
Yeah, I watched the first, I think, 3 seasons of Dexter, and I didn't stop enjoying it, but for whatever reason, I just kind of fizzled out. I never went back, but yeah, I think I watched at least 2 seasons, maybe three. But that's one little avenue of physical media that I don't collect TV. I strictly do movies, and that's nothing against TV, but it's like I almost feel relieved that I don't have to worry about this whole other thing to try to collect. Like it keeps it a little bit easier if I don't have to worry about different shows and things like that I love. I have a couple, but I strictly now just buy movies for the most part.
yeah, I mean, but I do also have a couple of complete collection box sets. Like I have Mr. Robot down here, but I don't know why it's in like this DVD size case though. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, but hey, I mean,
Now,
at least it wasn't like how do I say it? It's not like the Game of Thrones set that I have. I mean, it kind of is though, but it's not like as big.
do you have the box set of the Game of Thrones?
The Blu-ray set, to clarify.
Okay,
I'll show you. It's literally like right next to me. Um, I have this set right here.
and that's a little bit taller as well, huh?
That's kind that's kind of why I don't have this on my shelf because it's gonna waste up space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like I don't know if you're familiar with those A24 exclusive titles that they put out.
Yeah, I've seen those, but I don't. I never. I don't have any of those.
Yeah, they're much taller than your standard Blu-ray or 4K case. So it's almost like I can't even put them on my shelving behind me. So I have them like standing up at the bottom of my display. But they're really nice additions, really nice pieces of physical media, but they're so damn tall.
I mean, I'm not like that OCD about it though, because it's like if it's taller, if it's a DVD though, then that's a different story. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but if it's still like the same format that I usually have, like Blu-rays, 4Ks, anything like that, then I'm not gonna be bothered by it.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm right around, I think, where you are, somewhere around about 1,000, if I had to guess. I used to have quite a bit more, but I I've probably sold upwards of 400 to 500 movies on eBay. I kind of went through my collection a couple times and kind of did some purging of some titles I felt like I really am never going to watch this, or I tried to maybe make it a little bit more curated toward what I really love. So I've sold a lot of movies. Some I regret getting rid of, but in my head as a collector, I'm kind of always battling with that, and I'd rather have a collect, like, if you can't have 1,000 movies, like if there's like just having your favorite, you know what I'm saying? Like, because eventually this collection is going to go somewhere. Like when you, it's a morbid thought, but when you pass on and you kick the bucket, and then someone's going to have to deal with like thousands of movies, it almost
Right.
be, you know, it'd be a little bit more special to like have just this small curated collection that means a lot to you in a sense. So I've been more frugal lately for sure with my buying habits, but it's always us collectors. It's always tough.
Yeah. I mean, I got a bad habit myself. You can probably tell. Like, I have a bad habit. But
Well,
'cause I
there are a
mean,
lot worse things and a lot more expensive things that you could collect than movies. Like guys who are interested in like redoing cars or like jet skis, or there's some way more
or
expensive
even or
hobbies.
even a, or even like a motorboat. Like,
Yep.
so it's like, I mean, $30 to pay for a movie though. That's like that's a small price to pay. Like,
Yeah, considering it's hours and hours of entertainment, and you'll have it forever.
exactly. Like trying to look here. Like, because I think most of my questions that I'm going to ask in a bit are mostly revolved around physical media. Like,
Okay.
because you are a physical media collector yourself. So,
Yeah, for sure. Now you get to the movies quite a bit. I've noticed on your stories and whatnot. You're a pretty frequent moviegoer, hence the title of
yes,
the.
I am. Because, um,
So you've seen all the big ones now. You've seen Fast 10. You've seen Spider-Verse. You've seen Mermaid. All of it.
yeah, but sometimes my theater doesn't really get the smaller movies that I want to go see. Like, when Evil Dead Rise came out, they didn't get Beau is Afraid, which a lot of people, like, including Tracy and my watch-along co-host Fritsky, have been telling me to watch, and I'm like, guys, I don't have a way to watch it. Like,
Yeah, I think it got a release date. I forget when it was, but it got a release
it's
date
coming
now.
out on Blu-ray in July, but next Tuesday it's when it's coming to digital. So
Okay, okay. So you're gonna pay for the digital?
I think I might just wait until the Blu-ray comes out because the rental for the digital is probably going to be like $20. I do not want to spend $20 to rent Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, you might as well just wait.
I did the same with the Pope's Exorcist. Like, I really wanted to watch the Pope's Exorcist, but it was $20 when it was first on digital. So I was like, I'm gonna wait.
Hmm.
And then recently it just went down to $5.99, which is about $6.
Yeah, I think that's the most I've ever paid for to stream something is 5.99. If you're gonna pay 20 for a stream, you might as well just wait for the physical.
I've only done that twice, and it was for movies I really wanted to watch. If it was like movies I really wanted to watch, like I was dying to see, then I would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like something like with Nobody or Ambulance. Those are the only two times I did that. Was with those two
Okay.
movies.
Yeah, the only what I went to the theaters actually recently. I saw the Boogeyman. Have you seen that one?
I'm waiting until streaming to watch that movie. I hadn't really heard that many good things.
Yeah, well, it's very they say it's based off of a Stephen King novel, short story, which technically it is, but I think they totally just threw that into the marketing to try to sell more, because the story that it's based off of is literally like 12 pages long. So it's very, very short. So the movie has to fill in, hour 45. But it was okay. It was your mid-tier horror. It does all the classic horror tropes, every freaking monster movie has to have that scene where there's a kid that had a charcoal drawing of the monster, and then some social worker or counselor or teacher has to show the picture of the monster the kid drew. So it did that, and it did the classic trope of a super evil high school bully where the main character's mother passes away. It's not a spoiler, but the main character's mother passes away, and the girl wears her mother's old dress to school. And you're just waiting for some bitchy girl to come up and do something. And inevitably, some girl comes up and makes fun of the dress and pushes her and gets food on it. And it's like, okay, you're hitting all the tropes here. But it was a pretty cool creature design, and they did some cool things with lighting.
Yeah, I mean, at that it might be like interesting, but it's like there's way better movies that were adapted from short stories that weren't even just from Stephen King. Like
Mhm.
biggest example I know is The Black Phone, which was based off of a short story by his son, Joe
Okay.
Hill.
Yep.
And
I like the black phone. I'm still waiting on I feel like I don't have it in my collection yet. I feel like I'm waiting on a 4K, but I feel like I might never get one.
Scream Factory might pick it up soon because they have picked up a lot of Blumhouse titles, like as of recent, like they did with Freaky and Ouija. Like they did those.
Okay, yep.
But I do have I do have it.
Yeah, if it was priced right, if I would definitely, even the Blu-ray, I would pick it up for like a nice $10 or something. But
It was $10 last Black Friday.
how
Like
was it?
so, yeah.
That and, still waiting on. I know. I think it's one of your favorite movies. I was digging on your Instagram a little bit earlier. Knock at the Cabin. That's one I got to
It's a
watch.
really good movie. I mean, I have it already. Like,
I saw
cause
it in theaters. I just don't own that one.
I saw that one in theaters as well. I wanted to see it a second time though because like there was so much about it that was just going through my mind because I was so like because watching that movie, I saw that in theaters with my dad and that twist, it puzzled me. I was like, what was the twist? Like,
Yeah,
because I was like,
it really wasn't really a twist. Really, it was.
I mean, a lot of people consider it morely a reveal, but if it's Shyamalan, then I usually consider it a twist.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I read the novel, so I
oh, you
went.
did.
Yeah, so I went into the movie knowing pretty much where, the whole deal of what was going to happen. So there is one very huge difference between the two properties, though.
I
Uh,
heard the huge difference is the ending.
yeah, if you don't care, I'll tell you. But
I heard that the ending was like I think I kind of know what it is. The ending I heard in the book was actually they kill each other, like it's
well,
like the two dads kill each other. Um,
nope.
it was about what I heard though, but I mean I know I know it didn't sound right, but it was what I heard though at first.
Okay. Okay. Uh, well, do you care? Are you ever going to read the book?
Probably not, if I'm being honest. So you can go ahead.
So in the book, when the little girl is killed,
Oh,
so that's the main.
when
She accidentally gets shot and killed, and the two guys, the Eric and what's the other one's name? Eric,
oh,
Andrew, and Eric.
yep.
Um, they the ending of the book, they just carry her body off into the woods, and neither of them kills themselves, and it's left kind of ambiguous as to what's going to happen.
But obviously in the movie, um, I think wasn't it Andrew that kills oh wait
I've
I
seen the
think
movie. I've seen the movie.
I saw it I thought for a sec I thought for a second because I just saw someone pop in that has not seen the movie,
Oh, okay.
so it's like, oh, better shut my mouth.
Okay. Well, we can move on from Knock at the Cabin. I enjoyed it though.
Yeah, but really quick, I'm gonna just go ahead and open up my window.
Yeah.
Let's go. Look, you do. There we go. Yeah, because I literally just got a text like while we were just talking, like just to open up my window.
Okay.
So, yep. Let's see. Let's hit these comments here because we're gotten 20 minutes in. I haven't even touched these comments yet. Carrie Wilkerson, I think it's a new face to the channel here. What's going on, Carrie? Thank you for being, or Corey. I misread it.
Yeah, I've recently started following him on Instagram, so he's been popping up a little bit more on my channel and whatnot.
So yeah, thank you, Corey, for being here, man. Jared Runner, always a consistent viewer here. What's going on, Jared? Another consistent viewer. View with Drew. What's going on, Drew? Jared's been doing YouTube for 7 years.
Nice.
I'm impressed, man. Well, I mean, one of my buddies that I've been doing a couple collabs with recently has he's doing a live stream later this month because this is his 10th year doing YouTube.
He was in from the ground floor.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is YouTube? I don't even know.
Up into, I think it was like from since 2000, early 2007, I think, or maybe late 2006. Lance Jackson's in here. What's going on? Lance says, "Hey, what's up, Luke and everybody? Just at home dusting, and here's my top 5 favorite movies: Super Mario Brothers, Puss in Boots: Last Wish, Shrek: Pirates of the Caribbean, and Wreck-It Ralph." Nice. Super Mario Brothers is. I mean, what else do I need to say about that movie that I have not said already? Like,
Yep. I told you, me and Tracy did a whole deep dive on that movie as well. That was a funky physical media release, huh? It was all over the place.
Yep. And speaking of, I did get the Steelbook.
Yeah, you got it.
I had to. Like, I love the Steelbook. I mean, yes, it's very plain and simple, but sometimes the key to Steelbooks is simplicity. So
yeah, I think some of my favorite Steelbooks in my collection are ones that don't have any text on it, and it's just an image. You know, I mean,
yeah.
could have
I'll show you the inside, and also like I'll show you. So, and there's one of my tickets.
Nice.
So I saw this movie 3 times in theaters. Like,
okay, so have you watched the physical yet?
Not yet. I'm planning to. Probably gonna do that tomorrow because.
But are you 4K? You got a 4K TV and all that?
Well, yeah, I have a 4K TV downstairs in the living room, so that way I can test it out on 4K.
Okay.
And because I used the code already, so it's like, yeah, I can test it out there. But look at that disc though.
Yeah, so they saved the artwork for the disc.
But it's always on the 4K though for Universal. It's always on the 4K. The Blu-ray's just plain.
Yeah.
Like always. When is it not for Universal?
Yeah, Blu-ray doesn't get any love.
And then here's the inside, which is basically a look at the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yep.
And speaking of deep dives, I actually did do a spoiler talk on this movie already.
Okay, yeah, I think a lot of people were doing that, myself included.
Yeah, I mean, of course, a lot of people are going to do spoiler talks on this movie because there's a lot to delve into.
Yeah, there is. They covered a lot of bases, a lot of different elements of that universe, which was one of the things I kind of criticized a little bit. Not that it was bad, but they could have held off on some of that stuff because there's going to be sequels and more of these movies coming out. But
right, but I think they were doing that just because they think they might actually have some more, like some better stories to tell as soon as like they get the sequel greenlit. Like, So we'll see. Like, depends, but we don't know yet. Spicy 4K Action is in here. What's going on, man? Thank you for being here. Whoop, did a jump. Jared says he has it around 300 titles. Okay. I mean, he's usually on a tight budget, so I mean, I can't really blame him. Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, who popped in has not seen Knock at the Cabin. What's up, Tracy?
Yeah, sorry if we leaked anything there. Apologies.
That's why I was like, oh, better shut my mouth. Like, as soon as I saw her pop in, I was like, I gotta shut my mouth. Like, see, what are you guys' thoughts on Oppenheimer? Will you guys be seeing opening weekend? More than likely, I will.
There's a good chance I'll probably see some initial reviews and thoughts on it. Christopher Nolan is a little bit hit or miss for me. I like a lot of his stuff. I appreciate all of his stuff, but I find sometimes he can get a little bit convoluted and twisted up in his story a bit too much. And but I heard it's supposed to be quite the IMAX experience. So if I can hit an IMAX theater up in my area, I would definitely see it in IMAX.
Movie was shot with IMAX cameras, so it's
I know Tom Cruise. There was a big. He was upset about the timing of all that. When his new Mission Impossible film is coming out, he has the IMAX theaters, and then a week later, Oppenheimer comes out. But I mean, it's kind of the fault of his team, you know. I mean, like you got to know when these things are coming out. When you're trying to make the most money for your property, You want to put some space between these big movies.
Yeah, but honestly, thinking about it, I think Tom Cruise is still going to make his money back. Like,
Oh, he'll definitely make his money back, but I think he wants Maverick numbers.
yeah, because I mean, Maverick made a lot of like that was like the biggest opening weekend for him. Like,
Yeah, ever.
yeah. GM Light is in here and says, "Yo, that steelbook is out." Well, apparently, like when I looked on DVD's release dates, they pushed it back to next week, like for some odd reason. But some people have actually been getting their physical copies of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I've seen a few different people get the
Like I
steelbook and
know,
also
Alex
this.
Thomas got his physical copy of Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Um,
I've seen a couple people get the slipcover edition too.
and that slipcover looks beautiful. Like I know, I saw also some people on Instagram. Like my friend Lily got her steelbook. Ashley got the slipcover.
Okay, I think I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, and then most people just like to play Peaches in the background.
Yeah, I saw
It's,
some
it's too
TikTok
funny.
video. Some little boy at his talent show at school dressed up in a Bowser suit at a piano singing the Peaches song, and the entire auditorium of kids is like screaming Peaches.
Like, oh my god, it's such a ridiculous song, but it's too funny. Like,
I mean, yeah, Jack Black. I mean, he loves that stuff.
I mean, he's part of like a 2-man band, Tenacious D. So,
Yep, yep.
anybody didn't know that? There you go. That's the reason why he can actually sing.
Yeah, he sings a lot in School of Rock too.
Yep. It says yes. Tom Cruise is pissed. Oppenheimer solidified their date way before. Yes.
Yeah, so if you're a huge, I don't know who's putting out the Mission Impossible film. What umbrella that's under?
That's under. Are you meaning like director or
Like
studio?
Universal or like a studio?
Paramount.
Paramount. Like, come on, you can't know that Oppenheimer is going to be a big IMAX movie and just maybe wait a couple more weeks to put out your film or do it earlier or whatever. I don't know. It seems like it'd be very simple, but I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it that I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, but it kind of depends though, because I mean, it kind of depends on like what movies are like really coming out that people are like most looking forward to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, I know a lot of people on the internet are really looking forward to Dead Reckoning. So
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
one.
looking forward to Oppenheimer and Barbie. So
Yeah, out of those three, I think I definitely would want to see Dead Reckoning on IMAX for sure. Oppenheimer and Barbie, I'd be interested in as well, but Dead Reckoning, I think it's gonna be crazy.
especially because Tom Cruise has been marketing that motorcycle stunt
Mm-hmm.
all over Dead Reckoning, and it's like, bro, like, dude, you're nuts.
There's a whole like 10 or 15 minute clip on YouTube where it breaks down that entire stunt and talks all about it. Did you watch that?
No, I'm saving that until I actually watch the movie. Like,
Okay. Yeah, so it's this ridiculous stunt, and I won't spoil it for you, but he's just such an adrenaline junkie. They got the shot, but he did it like 15, 20 times, over and over again,
oh my god,
like ridiculous
dude,
times.
Tom Cruise is nuts, dude.
It's
Like,
insane. It's insane. And at his age, and I was on a stream a couple weeks ago on Mega Mike's channel, and it was like top 5 chase or racing scenes in movies, and I picked there's a motorcycle scene in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and it's Tom Cruise on a motorcycle, like one of those crotch rockets, the really fast motorcycles, and he's chasing down this other person, and it's insane. Like the
yeah, I
skill that he
mean,
has to be able to ride the motorcycle that quick, and he's going around these tight turns, and he's when you're on a motorcycle you have to lean into it where his knee is like an inch away from the pavement. He's going like 100 and some odd miles an hour. I mean, it's crazy
yeah, I mean,
the skills
even
that
look
he's
at
required to do
even look
this.
at the even look at the other stunts in Rogue Nation. Like, he holds onto a freaking airplane, like,
Yeah,
and he's thousands of feet in the air. Like,
it's unbelievable. Like, who would have thought that the guy who did Risky Business and all those like kind of goofy
and
80s cheesy movies, and
Cocktail, something
yep,
like that.
now 2023, he's like 65 and he's the the most badass action star.
Like, dude, if like dude, if once Dead Reckoning comes out and then Vin Diesel just comes out and says that he does his stunts are cooler with the cars and everything, he's capping. Like,
Yeah.
because Tom Cruise will just go all out with his stunts. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like he's acquires like I said, so much skill. Just like and you can like hate on Tom Cruise for various reasons, the Scientology thing, or maybe you don't like him in his persona or whatever. But to be able to do these stunts, whether it's a motorcycle, whether it's skydiving, whether it's whatever it is, he's putting in a lot of time just to learn how to do these things, and he's doing that because he loves filmmaking so much. So you got to at least tip your hat to the guy.
yeah, even when he just dangles from a helicopter in Fallout, like,
That
my
scene at the end of
dude,
Fallout was ridiculous.
and dude, like that scene, like when someone was just coming towards the helicopter, and he's still in it. Like, I was like, dude, you're gonna die. Like, he was this close to being on the verge of death. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and then he jumps across the building and breaks his ankle in the process, and
Hmm.
he keeps going. Like,
He
and I was
probably
like,
didn't even realize it was broken until he stopped running.
I was like, salute to you, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Like, like, that dude is he does all of his own stunts, and it's like the dude's 60 right now. Like,
Yeah, right. Like it's funny. Like you would have thought maybe he would do this stuff in his 30s or 40s, but I guess the right roles came along and later in life for him to do this crazy stuff.
I mean, his real big action breakout was Top Gun, the first one. Like,
What was that like? Uh, 86, I think.
yep, 86, and then his next big action breakout obviously was Mission Impossible.
Which
Like,
was what, like 92 or something, or
that
early
was
90s.
10 years later, actually,
Oh, really?
96.
96.
Yeah, and then he just kept going with action movies, even though he obviously did some dramas before he kept going with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
he's
then it
got
was when
a
it came
good
to the
handful.
2010s, he was in nothing but action movies.
Yeah, he's got a good
Like,
handful of dramas in there, like Born on the Fourth of July and Last Samurai, Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky.
That's a
Vanilla
that's
Sky
a,
is a good one. Valkyrie's pretty good.
I haven't seen Valkyrie.
So, from a director we don't talk about, but Tom Cruise is great in the movie. I'll
Okay,
give you that.
I'm curious now who the director is.
If I remember right, I think it was Brian Singer.
Okay, did he do something bad?
I don't want to talk about it. It's like whenever a director does something bad, it's like I don't want to talk about it because I might get canceled. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's because obviously directors like Alfred Hitchcock, Roman Polanski, or
The dude who directed
um,
Jeepers Creepers too.
Victor Salva, yeah, or Brett Ratner. Like, you don't want to talk about those guys because they did bad stuff back in their time. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's like, well, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get canceled. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what the YouTube policies on that type of discussion are, but
yep, risky business is great.
yeah,
Just take those old records off the shelf. Love
iconic.
that. This where he just starts a brothel, dude. Like,
Yep. I did a Tom Cruise. It was a pre-recorded content, but I did a Tom Cruise top 10 or top 5 video. So I had to rewatch all these old Tom Cruise films. Maybe it was like 6 months ago at this point, but that was when I rewatched.
yeah, classic comedy right there. Like that was back when Tom Cruise was doing more comedies and dramas, and before he obviously got to his action ego. Like,
Yep, yep.
so. So let's see. My first question is, what is your favorite piece of physical media that you own, like in your entire collection?
Gee. Well, if you talk about your favorite, then you're inevitably going to probably gravitate to something that's from a favorite director or a favorite actor or something. Um, I have a pretty nice hard box edition of 2001, Space Odyssey from Stanley Kubrick. I have a couple obscure Blu-ray steelbooks as well from some other Kubrick films. Kubrick's probably my favorite director, so I gravitate towards some of my physical media from him. My most expensive one, though, I have it sealed still, is it's I think a German release of a 4K version of The Frighteners, and it's from Turbine Media, and it's like this big box. It's like 2 inches bigger than your standard Blu-ray, and I think it's going on eBay now for like $200, which is probably,
Jeez.
yeah. So I'm gonna keep that bad boy sealed up for a while and keep an eye on. I like the Frighteners, but if I could get $300, $400 for that someday, I'm gonna sell it. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's some good choices. Like I
that's
think
that's kind of how I'm when I'm tapering back on collecting a little bit, like I mentioned, instead of feeling like I need to buy like all the new releases and whatnot, I kind of, if you're gonna double dip, people's policy on double dipping, I only really double dip on a film if it's from one of my favorite directors or it's one of my favorite movies. That's like kind of my rule.
okay, yeah, I see that. I mean, makes sense. Um I'd say in regards to my most expensive one was that Game of Thrones set I showed you. Um
Okay.
I actually it was actually my payday from work, and it was my payday, and I paid like about $140 for that thing. Like
Okay.
I actually took the risk, and I paid that much. Like
Had you already seen the series?
I wanted to get it so I could watch it on the optical disc. 'Cause I didn't really feel like streaming it on Max or anything. Like
Yep. Yeah, I bought that 4K box set during the price drop. So I got it for around the same price actually, but I think I paid 179 for it. But then as I
I
kind of
wanted that set so badly. Like it was such a cool set.
I didn't get the steelbook one. I just got the slip. I don't know if they had slips or
The
what.
slip box
Yeah, yeah,
set.
yeah.
But I actually do have the 4K for its prequel series, House of the Dragon.
I haven't checked that out, that show before yet.
I've watched this though because because it's obviously a prequel to Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
So
Is,
really good,
is worth it?
really good. It was really good. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
maybe I'll check it out. I haven't watched it. I've seen all of Game of Thrones, but I have not checked out that prequel yet.
Let's see. I'd say for steelbooks though, I have like a lot of steelbooks in my collection. Like I have a lot
Really?
of steelbooks.
Yeah, I was never a big steelbook guy up until fairly recently. Actually, I started to get into the steelbooks more. But like you were saying with Mario's, some of my favorite steelbooks are the ones where there's no text, there's no like title, it's just an image. Some
Like
of them
it's
are
just a
really nice.
simple image that you don't even have to like have any text over. Like
Yep.
um, I think I may have like one of those sitting here, but I'm not quite sure. I'm just looking to make sure if I can find one for that.
Yeah, one of my favorite steelbooks. I think it has text on it, but I think it's really nice artwork. Is the Fifth Element steelbook.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's got
I've
Bruce
seen the
Willis.
movie, but I've never seen the Steelbook. Like,
They came out with another one too, fairly recent. I don't know if it's even come out yet. It's like got purple artwork. The one I have is like green. I can grab it if you want, but and if you hear a random ding, that's my fault. I'm on my wife's laptop, and every once in a while she gets a text message, and I don't know how to turn off that damn beep. So my apologies.
oh, I was like, are you getting text on your phone or something? Like,
No, it's a text. I don't know why it goes through. I've asked her to try to figure out a way to put it on mute, and it's just a constant thorn in my side when I'm doing streams. So my apologies for the beep.
oh no, you're good. But I found a good one with no text on it. It's one of the first Steelbooks I ever bought. The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's beautiful, nice and clean.
Yep, nice little matte finish Steelbook here. Like,
Yeah, I like the matte finish ones. It doesn't show every single fingerprint every time you touch it.
yep,
Yep.
there you go.
A couple other coming to mind that don't have text on the cover. There's a steelbook for King Kong, the King Kong remake. That's
The
just King
Peter
Kong.
Jackson one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's one that's actually a really nice steelbook of Godzilla 2000. Or is it the one with Matthew Broderick? Is it 1997?
Oh god, the 1998 movie.
That I don't. I'm
Oh
not.
god.
That is a really nice steelbook. Have you seen that steelbook?
That steelbook is nice, but the movie's terrible.
I
Like,
don't remember the movie much, but it's just Godzilla's big foot on the cover, and that's it.
oh my god, it's that is not a good movie.
When I think
Um,
about that movie, all I can remember is some scene where they're discovering a bunch of eggs under the city in the sewers. And that's all I can remember.
it's bad. I mean, obviously, I got the Mario Steelbook for the ones with no text on it. Oh, I got another one for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yep,
Yep,
it's
it's a
another
nice
one.
Steelbook.
And of course, Lionsgate always puts out interesting steel books with the kind of interactive slip covers and whatnot.
I have actually quite a bit of those, believe it or not. I have a lot of those.
I have maybe like 8, 7 or 8.
But here's one of them I got for Punisher Warzone.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that one.
Like I love that it's like all completely red on the slipcover, but when you take it off, it just completely changes.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nice
Nice
one.
image. Like,
It's not Lionsgate, but a couple more really nice steel books. The Starship Troopers one that came out recently, and then
love that movie, and I want that Steelbook.
it's a nice steel book. And then which is a Lionsgate steel book. There's an Evil Dead 1 and 2 collection on steelbook, and it has a slip cover, and the slip cover has the words Evil Dead 1 and 2, but if you take the slip cover off, you just get this nice clean image with no text.
That is so, and like, there's a couple other Lionsgate Steelbooks that came out recently that I really want. One for Lord of War and Crank. Like,
Yeah. See, those are two I don't have. Their price. What's good about them is their price at $19.99, which is good because sometimes these new releases come out and the packaging isn't even as nice as these Lionsgate steals, and they're 27, $28.
yeah, because I mean, like, I know Sisu is coming out pretty soon, and that's getting a Lionsgate Steelbook. I'm sure that's gonna be like about over $30. Like, because it's also a brand new movie. Like,
Yeah, we got somebody in the comments left a tip on how to turn off that beep. So I'm kind of yeah. So I'm in Windows settings. I'm trying to kind of find it.
there you go. So let's see. Um, hoping for that box set to go down. I've held off on the Game of Thrones for so long.
See, I wish I had known that sooner. I told you in the beginning of the stream that I don't collect TV. So at one point, I actually sold that 4K box set on eBay. I watched it and then I sold it. But if I had known, I could have sent it your way.
Ah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel like Apple product. I'm very bad with Apple. I have an Android phone, and my wife has an iPhone, and every time I need to like use her phone for something, just the interface itself just boggles me, and like I'm so not used to it. And I'm on a Chromebook, and even this trying to find his directions, it's like I'm like Apple. I'm not good with Apple.
No big deal. Let's see another expensive item I got for collect. Oh yeah, here's This was actually pretty expensive. I think I spent about $60 on this. It's the Back to the Future Steelbook collection.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this was about $60, and I was like,
That's not bad for 3 steelbooks.
yeah, I mean, and plus they're great movies. So
Yep. I haven't seen the third one in so long. I don't remember much at all about that third one.
I don't really remember much about it either. I know it's a western though.
Yeah.
Like, not that much, but it's just I don't know.
I see your Malignant poster in the back. So you dug Malignant?
Yeah, and also it was when I went and saw Candyman that they actually had some free posters laying out in the theater. So I was like, so I decided to get some posters. So I got that one. We got also Candyman, which you can't even see, but I do have that one. You also
Yeah.
can't see the other two, but I also do got the Night House and Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought Malignant was so the twist and the creature design. It becomes a more of an action film in certain scenes. Like there's that one scene where he's killing all those people in some type of big. I don't know if it's like a big auditorium room or I forget where, but it's just a straight up action scene. And the way that the creature has to move because everything's kind of again, I don't want to spoil it maybe, but everything's kind of backwards. It's very interesting. It's a very original idea I thought he had.
Yeah, one of the. I honestly would say it's one of James Wan's best movies. Like, it's not his absolute best in my opinion, but it's one of his best. Like,
Yeah. And
he
they're
hasn't.
coming.
Oh, go ahead.
He did the Insidious films, right? Did he do all of them or just the first one?
He did the first two.
The first
Um,
two. So
Lee
what?
Winnell did three. The director of the two escape room movies did the fourth one, and Patrick Wilson is making the fifth one.
Okay. Yeah, I have the first four on Blu-ray, but I've only watched one and two. So I gotta catch up on those other ones before this new one, I guess.
I actually really like them. I mean, the first one I loved. Like, the first one is actually my favorite James Wan movie, which might actually come as a shock to some people, but
Hmm.
I love that first movie. The second one's not as good, but it still actually has some really good moments in it. Like, I'll give it that. Um, three as a prequel, like, I didn't really have much expectations for that because it was a prequel and you already know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But as a prequel, it's actually pretty surprising with the directions that it took. And the last key is, yeah, it's all right.
Good. Yeah, I got them all. They were all pretty cheap on Amazon, like $5.99. So
Not a bad deal at all. Um,
yeah,
but
horror is like the one exception I'll sometimes make where like, okay, I know this film's not really going to be that great, but horror is one of my favorite, genres. So that's probably I have the most horror titles. If comedy, drama, horror, whatever, I probably have the most horror out of all of it.
I mean, pretty much in every single row in my collection, there's at least like one or two horror movies. Like,
Yeah, I actually have. That's how I have my. So behind me, I have like my main media wall that you can see, and
yeah,
that's strictly like box sets, boutique labels like Criterion, Arrow Video, whatever, and then 4Ks, and then on a different shelf over here, I just have all of my horror stuff and Blu-ray stuff, but I actually have it organized where it's like all horror from A to Z, and then standard everything else from A to Z.
I just keep every single one of my movies from A to Z. So
It's easy that way. So you don't mix it up with like a 4K Blu-ray or DVD or any of that.
mostly with the Blu-rays and 4Ks, like, and everything on this shelf is how I keep it organized. But with like my DVDs and VHSs, I don't organize them whatsoever. Like,
I don't have. Do you have a large DVD collection still?
no, I've actually been really shrinking down on DVDs. I'll buy DVDs if I really have to. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, I have maybe 30 DVDs. Not many, and most of them they're just obscure titles that never got Blu-rays. Like a lot of comedies that never got Blu-rays for whatever reason. But yeah, it's funny how even in 2023, like today, how much of the market is still, sales market for physical media is still so dominant DVD. Whereas, we're in this world where we collect and it's primarily Blu-ray and 4K. But if you look at the statistics, because they always have like this pie chart that shows like where the sales are going, it's still like
yeah,
65% is still DVD.
it's like, guys, there's clearly better qualities like right under your nose. Like,
I think a lot of people though that are just casual movie fans, they don't care. They'll just pick up the DVD and they're happy with it, which is cool. But it's just interesting that even Blu-ray still isn't eating up more of the market yet. Still, it's like DVD 65%. Last time I saw it, Blu-rays like 20 or 30%, and then 4K is like 10.
that is just sad. Like, because most physical media collectors like us. I mean, we, like you said, we just have more like Blu-rays and 4Ks and not really much DVDs. Like,
Hmm.
good.
And so I don't know now whereabouts are you located?
Um,
Like
I'm
what
in
state?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. So I don't know how close, like how many stores you have near you, but for me, my Target and my Walmarts, the past like 6 months, they really are quite poor with having the new titles where I don't even go anymore. And then the Best Buy that's closest to me completely stopped selling movies. So the
The
only
closest Best Buy for me is like about an hour away. Like,
Yeah. So the only Best Buy for me that actually sells movies, it's like 45 minutes away. So it's like, man, I'd like to get that Crank Steelbook, or I'd like to get maybe, Lord of War. But between driving there and driving back, that's like an hour and a half. And I never bother like having them ship it to me. So it's like, if I had a Best Buy closer to me, my collection would probably be a lot bigger. So it's probably a good thing, saving me money. But it's rare that I want to drive, 45 minutes each way to pick up a title.
well, I mean, and even it's the same thing with Target. Like the nearest Target that I have is like an hour away. So it's like in the only nearby store that actually can sell like brand new physical media that I have is a Walmart.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of the time, like whenever I've been going to get stuff like on a Tuesday, like usually they would have it. Like the last few times I've gone, they did have it in stock. Like with when I went on the 16th when Ant-Man came out, they had that one in stock, and same thing with Operation Fortune.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like they're probably better at having like the Marvel stuff, the really popular stuff. They're gonna probably make sure they have it in there on day one.
Yeah, but then it comes to this type of week where it's like, what's a good one? Like, because like Renfield came out this week, and it's
Yep.
like more than likely they're not going to have it on the shelf because no one's. It's like it was a smaller movie and no one really saw it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's I'm worried that my Barnes and Nobles is gonna get, because I've seen some people post that their local Barnes and Nobles got rid of their Criterion section. And that's probably my favorite boutique label to collect is Criterion. And it's like really fun when they have those sales a couple times a year. Because I don't know how big you are into the Criterion collection, but when you go, like every time I went last time during the sale, there's always other people looking, and they're all like big movie buffs because like they're waiting for this sale. So I'll go to Barnes and Nobles looking for titles, and you'll end up talking to some random person, and they'll recommend stuff, and you recommend stuff, and it's almost like this little gathering of strangers who all like love this collection of movies. So it's pretty cool. But I'm scared that my only Barnes and Nobles is gonna stop selling Criterion.
yeah, because I mean, like the last time I went to Barnes and Noble, they still did have their Criterions, and I wanted to pick up a couple of them, but it was like they're still very spendy to a degree where it's like I don't feel like buying them right now. So I
Yeah,
am
we got
still waiting on the sale. Like, let's see. And I do have Criterions on my shelf. I do actually have a few Criterions. I have about 18 Criterions. Like,
yeah,
um,
that's definitely my favorite label, just because you discover they're so diverse, and you discover so much from, and especially with foreign cinema, that there's no other way you're gonna find these films. Uh,
yeah, because then
yeah.
they don't usually have like the most mainstream titles. Like,
No, no, they don't.
that's kind of the thing I love about Criterions. They don't always have the most mainstream titles.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been being a lot more picky, choosy, and frugal with my spending, but I'm ready for this July sale for sure. I'm gonna pick up. I plan to. I mean, if my Barnes and Nobles is still carrying, I saw somebody in the comments say that his local Barnes and Nobles, they got rid of physical media. Um,
This one here.
yep. So I'm worried about that, quite frankly. But if they still have it, I'm definitely gonna make a couple of different trips and do some haul videos. And last time I picked up, I think um 20 films. So if they have them in store, I'm probably going to get at least 20 or 30 more next month. So I've been saving up for to be a little bit more irresponsible next month and buy some movies.
I mean, yeah. I mean, um, the last sale in November, I only got four Criterions. Like, and they were good ones though. I'll give you that. They were good ones. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I got the 30 Alfred Hitchcock's the 39 Steps. Um, got the thin. It's outside of my room, but the Thin Red Line.
Yep, that's a good one. Now, did that get a 4K? I think it did, right?
I don't remember. Like I just have the Blu-ray Criterion of the Thin Red Line. Um,
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm mistaken. That's the one I have as well. I don't. I thought I had seen it getting a 4K. I might be wrong though.
like because I know there's some that have gotten 4Ks. Like I know Triangle of Sadness got a Criterion and a 4K.
Hmm.
Blowout did, and that's
I
actually
have
one I want to pick up for the sale is Blowout.
Yep. I have Blowout, but just the standard Criterion. And I was talking about this with somebody else. Like, so when they release a Blu-ray and then Criterion will upgrade it to 4K, they don't do anything different with the packaging. It looks exactly the same from like the outside, which
which is
honestly,
it's weird. Like,
it's weird, but I kind of respect it because it helps people like us who are big collectors, like not just feel like they have to buy something for the packaging or the artwork. Like there's a lot of Criterions that I have that they upgraded to 4K, but it's like, it looks exactly the same. And maybe it's a small uptick in resolution, but it makes
yeah,
it easier. It makes it easier for me to hold off, I guess is what I'm saying. I kind of appreciate that in a weird way. Um, but yeah, I plan to get, I guess, Spicy asking in the comments how many titles for the half off sale. Again, it depends on if my local Barnes and Nobles has that section still, because I haven't been there in quite a few months. But you know, and also
yeah,
depends it depends how quickly and how much time I have to watch them, because I don't like to get too far behind. But I'm gonna get upwards of 20 or 30 probably.
yeah. I mean,
I've got
but
about
I
a
know
few.
like for last summer though, I went ham on the sale. Like, well, I only bought like two at first, but then it was like, it was early August, and like they had like and they still had quite a bit of titles like still on sale.
Mhm.
Like, so I was like, you know what? I still want to buy more titles, like, because I
Yeah, yeah,
really want more Criterions.
yeah. It was nice too. Like 90% of the time, it's a blind buy for me, because you go there and every time when I went to shop in person, you just grab something that looks, it catches your eye for whatever reason. You read the synopsis, maybe you give it a quick Google and see if it, what the reviews are looking like. And 9 times out of 10 when I buy a Criterion, it's a blind buy, but I discovered so many like just awesome movies that I never would have found otherwise.
Yeah, like, like some of them I've heard of like when I bought them, but some of them I'd never watched. But like after I bought them, like being John Malkovich.
That's a great one. It's
Yeah,
very
I watched that after I bought. It's so weird.
it's a
Like,
weird one. Such a weird premise, right? You crawl into a doorway and then control John Malkovich, then get spit out on the side of the highway.
yep. And then see, I also, this one was a birthday, not a birthday present, a Christmas gift, but it was still, I hadn't seen it by the time. The Great Dictator, um, the
Okay.
Charlie Chaplin movie.
No, I don't, it's funny. I don't have any Charlie Chaplin. And at this point, I'm just waiting because I know that they're going to go hard eventually and they're going to release all the Chaplin in 4K. So I'm just going to wait and hold off. And when they release those 4K Chaplins, because it's going to happen, I'm going to get them all. I'm going to get them all then.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Following the first Christopher Nolan movie, that was a blind buy.
Yep, I had that one. It's a good one.
I mean, I know people hate me for this opinion, but it's like, guys, come on, just respect it. Like,
What's the opinion?
that Interstellar is actually my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
I'm fine with that. That's that.
A
Well, I
lot
said
of people
earlier,
hate me for that. It's like that's a lot of people's favorite Nolan movie, and I was like, well,
he just
if
gets
I were to
too.
gravitate towards a Nolan film, it's not that one.
Yeah, he just gets too convoluted with the story sometimes. Like that one kind of, it's just so much. And same thing like with, and this is one that a lot of people love that I'm kind of a little bit more lax on, is The Prestige. I like that movie a lot, but it's like twist after twist after twist after, it's just like so much. Like,
But at the same time, it's like Christopher Nolan kind of trusts his audience. It's not like he doesn't place any trust in his audience whatsoever. Like with The Prestige, like it's like the twist that comes along, and it's like if you blink it, you'll miss it. Like,
yeah, I appreciate that he doesn't sit there and hold your hand through it all. You have to pay attention and you have to, watch
like
and
he's not just hey dude, get off your phone, pay attention to the screen. You're gonna miss the twist. Like,
yeah, yeah.
so it's like, yeah, but I respect it. Do respect your opinion though, because The Prestige is actually my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And
very
as I said, a lot of
it's
people
very
love.
dark and twisted. Like,
Honestly, one of my favorite Christopher Nolan films was probably Insomnia.
his most underrated movie.
Yep. I like
Everybody
that.
thinks like because Robin Williams is in it, should be a comedy. No, it's a crime thriller.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So people stop thinking Robin Williams is meant for comedies. He can do dark roles like that.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit, and not only dark roles like that or 1 hour photo, but he's got some really underrated drama films that a lot of people haven't heard of. Have you ever heard of what's it? Blanking on the name. Hudson. Moscow on the Hudson.
I actually have never heard of that.
I hadn't heard of it either until like maybe 6 months ago. Somebody recommended it to me. It's amazing. So he plays a an immigrant from Russia coming in to live in New York City, and Robin Williams actually learned how to speak Russian just for this movie. So I was so taken aback by that. Like the movie starts off, and Robin Williams is with his family, and they're just speaking Russian, and you're thinking, oh, did he like learn a couple of lines of dialogue for this film? That's pretty cool. But then like it's just the whole movie where he's speaking Russian, and it's like so interesting that he like took that on and like learned an entire language. And just besides that, it's still just a great film. Another really great Robin Williams film is A Fisher King. Have you seen that one?
I have heard of the Fisher King, but I've never seen it.
That's a great one. That one's got a Criterion release.
I
Those
definitely want to
two,
get that on Criterion for
yeah,
sure. Like,
that one just got a 4K. I'm
yep,
pretty sure. Pretty sure.
yeah, it did. It did get a 4K, and I do want to get that movie on Criterion and give it a watch because I mean, Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams in it.
Yep, they're both.
Good
Yeah,
combo.
it's a great movie. That one
Um,
and what did I call it? Moscow on the Hudson. Two great ones.
Moscow on the Hudson. I definitely need to watch those two, but I don't know if you would consider this one a dramatic performance, but this is a lot more different than what you would usually expect from Robin Williams. The movie Bicentennial Man.
That's one I actually have on DVD. I don't think it ever. I'm not sure if it ever got anything beyond DVD.
I don't think it did either, which I think is stupid. Like,
I haven't seen it in so long. I just remember he plays like a robot who begins to become what, sentient or whatever.
yeah, and it's a bit more of a different turn from Robin Williams. Like, as far as when I remember the movie, like he's a lot more like, even though yes, he still does have his comedic relief kind of thing that he's usually known for, but there is a lot more vulnerability with his character in that movie. Like,
Yeah, kind of like Jack.
there you go.
That was
Holland Oates is in the chat. What's going on, Holland? Thank you for being here. Spoiler Kings. What's going on, Spoiler Kings? I was just on their channel the other day. So I'm talking about Across the Spider-Verse. So go subscribe to their channel as well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wouldn't quite say it's the most accurate. The ending, I did not really like the ending. The ending was just like, okay. I don't know what people were freaking out about. And also way too long for me. Insomnia is great. Yes, it is. It's a great movie. Was going to pick up the 4K of The Fisher King during the sale. I'm thinking about picking that one up, but we'll see.
Yeah, if you like Robin Williams, can't go wrong with there.
Yep. Love Bicentennial Man. Saw it. Nice. It's a good movie. Again, there's like so many Robin Williams movies that he did, obviously before he tragically passed away. But,
yeah, another one that's kind of under the radar for a lot of people is a movie called Cadillac Man. Have you heard of that?
I think I have, but it's not really ringing a bell though. Like,
I believe it's on Max, HBO Max, now called Max. That's a good one. It has Tim Robbins in it as well, who has a pretty crazy performance.
yeah, I mean, I love Tim Robbins, so
there you go.
There you go.
If you have HBO Max, Cadillac Man, I think it's on that. That's where I watched it.
I'll check it out. Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams, A Video Store. Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges' character in the movie Fisher King, he owns and operates a video rental store.
Okay, now I have to watch this movie.
Yeah,
I have to watch it.
Let's see if Fisher
it's like, I mean, any movie like with a or that has a video store or anything like that involved, it's like I have to.
Yep.
Like,
it's not
the biggest
super
example
prominent.
we know for sure is Clerks.
Yeah. It's not a super prominent part of the film, but it's
yeah. I mean, I figured it's not like a big part of the movie, but as long as there's like a part of it in it, cool.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Because
you also get some full frontal nudity from Robin Williams.
Oh, jeez.
He plays kind of this vagrant homeless type character who's a very, very free as well as far as like his thoughts, and but he has some problems. But there's a scene where he's trying to get Jeff Bridges to take his clothes off too, and he's like swinging his penis around in the grass, and they're running around in this field, and it's nuts.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying with Clerks though, like the funniest thing is like this woman just goes up to Randall like, just while he's reading his magazine. He's like, "I don't watch movies." Like, then why do you work at the video store? Like, it's so funny. Like, even like when the questions that the customers ask him, it's like those are like the dumbest questions you can ever ask. Like
Okay.
like what would you give for a 6-year-old boy who chronically wets his bed? So do you have any new movies? And then literally right above it says new movies.
Yeah, yeah,
Like right above her head, and I was like, idiot.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
I haven't seen the sequels to Clerks.
Clerks 2 is really good, but I think Clerks 3 is a little bit better than 2. I mean, it's a little bit more emotional than you would expect.
Yeah, yeah.
I did because the kind of the basis of Clerks 3 is that Randall survives a heart attack. So then he decides to make a movie about like working at the convenience store.
Okay.
So that's kind of that's all you really need to know about Clerks 3. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's great. And in the trailer honestly has my favorite moment in the entire movie.
Huh.
It's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. Um, it's
Yeah, I haven't
because
seen it.
the original ending of Clerks 3 or not Clerks 3, Clerks was supposed to be like where a robber comes in and shoots Dante.
Okay.
That was originally supposed to be the ending. So the guy has a gun up to the camera, and then Dante's like, what the hell is this? And then
Mhm.
I added a scene where you get shot. I'm not letting you kill me off in the third act. What if there's a sequel? A sequel? What am I, a hack?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you just roasted filmmakers that make sequels. Like, you roasted them.
Well, that's pretty much all filmmakers these days.
They just want to make sequels, and Randall just like had like the perfect thing right there, just
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and also I don't know if you know this, but I actually have the steelbook for Clerks 3.
Yep, yeah, I figured you did.
I'll show you.
Is that a Lionsgate one?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
And it's just that scene of like that big tube that Jay and Silent Bob make because obviously you know that they smoke weed.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like gets a big little bit of a smoke out of there. I think it needs more weed. Yeah, you can probably tell I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. Like,
Mm-hmm. What's the other film? You could probably rattle off more of his filmography. Is it Chasing Amy?
um,
Is that a Kevin Smith movie?
yeah, that is Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but somebody recommended that movie to me.
Great. But I think his most underrated of his Jay and Silent Bob movies, even though a lot of people do talk about it, but I just don't feel like enough people give it credit where it's due. To be honest with you, is Mallrats.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mallrats.
Mallrats is so funny. Like,
That just got a 4K from Arrow, right?
I think it did. I mean, I don't have it yet, but it
During the Criterion sale, they also do an Arrow 50% off sale as well. So
that's actually how I got my first two Arrow releases, and I only
okay.
have two.
Yeah, that'd be a good time to maybe pick up Mallrats though, and it's 50% off.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. Caprice is in here. Dracula or horror. Thank you for being here. Says hello everyone. Hi Luke and Vin. Well, thank you. Happy to see you here.
Just popping in.
He's definitely talking about the Clerks 3 steelbook that sold out quick. I was lucky enough to actually get my hands on one. Pre-order that little sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Love Chasing Amy. It's a good one. I would definitely say it's Kevin Smith's most mature film. Like,
Yeah,
when you really
actually
think about it.
Googling it right now, seeing if it's on streaming anywhere.
Yeah. I think I
Does not.
watched it when it was on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is anymore.
But I think it was during the pandemic when I was really starting to get into Kevin Smith, though.
Okay.
That was when I watched Mallrats. That's actually also when I watched Clerks for the first time.
Hmm.
And that's also I watched Clerks 2 for the first time, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. All of his Jay and Silent Bob movies I watched for the first time during the pandemic. Like,
And how many Jay and Silent Bob movies are there?
see, there's Clerks. Like it counts like if they even if they're not in the film for very long, they actually have to be in the film in order for it to count.
Hmm.
Like
But
there's Clerks, Clerks
they have
2, Clerks
standalone
3.
movies that, like just standalone Jay and Bob films. There's like two of them.
There's two of them. Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Okay. I haven't
Um,
seen. I might not have seen either of those.
I see. Let's see. There's also again Chasing Amy, Dogma.
Yeah, I wish that was more available as
Yes,
far as.
because I want to get Dogma on Blu-ray. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, you haven't? It's good.
No,
It's good.
I want to though. I really want to.
It's
Again,
very out there, but it's like super out of print. And then sometimes you'll see somebody on Instagram or whatever posting that they found at a freaking Dollar Tree for 50 cents or something. You're like, oh, you're lucky.
yeah. Again, there's Jan Silent Bob Strike Back, in the reboot. So I think there's three Clerks movies, two Jan Silent Bob movies, Chasing Amy, Mallrats, Dogma. That's about 8 or 9, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot. Um, let's see. In my opinion, Dogma is the most underrated. Definitely does not get enough credit. Well,
Yeah,
now I really have to watch Dogma. Like
it's a crazy movie.
I can only imagine because I saw the preview for that on the VHS and I was like, okay, like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they fight a giant poop monster at one point.
Okay, now I have to see this. Like I have to.
It's like a giant walking, talking piece of crap.
Yep. Nadia, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. It says favorite horror franchise.
Oof. That's tough because I feel like all of my favorite horror movies are typically standalone titles. Franchises. I think when you're talking about those heavy hitters, those Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Chucky, I guess if you just take those four, I don't know. I think the Jason films are the most consistent across the board. Chucky, his highest points are really like my favorite Chucky movies are like up there pretty highly. I love 1 and 2. I can have fun with Bride of Chucky, and I think Curse of Chucky too. I think that's the one where he's terrorizing the girl in the wheelchair. I think that one was a good movie as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
franchise.
I
And
think
a lot of horror franchises I haven't seen, like the Puppet Masters or the Wish Masters, or there was one that Vinicio mentioned the other day. What was I think it might have been Wishmaster, and I have never seen a lot of those slightly more B movie franchises.
I've
But
seen the first three Wishmaster movies. The first one,
Phantasm.
I actually really like the first one. The first one I think is really good. Two is fine, but three I hated. I hated the third one. Like
Yeah, that one. Phantasm is another one. Like it's kind of like a. So yeah,
I
if
love the first one. 2 and 3 are good. Four is eh. Five is
Phantasm.
yeah for Phantasm. Five
Okay.
is abysmal. But
Yeah,
I think my favorite horror franchise, it's actually might be a three-way tie because like the first two are like the most consistent horror franchises in my opinion. Evil Dead and
mhm.
Scream. Like they're super consistent franchises. Like
I didn't even think of Evil Dead just because there's like, well, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 5 now, right?
yeah, there's five.
So yeah.
It's a very consistent franchise. Like every single one of them ranges from really good to incredible. Like
Mhm. Yeah, Scream. I like the first one. It's a classic. The second one's all right, and then from there on, I really don't care about the other ones much.
I
I
didn't
feel
really. I do not like three though. Three is not good at all. Four was a step up from three, but still not great. But 5 and 6 I loved. Like I love, especially 6. Like I loved Scream 6.
I didn't watch that one yet. I'm waiting for the physical. And we're talking about steelbooks earlier. Scream 1 and 2 and 5, I guess, have really nice really nice clean steelbooks.
Yes, they do for sure. Um,
They're those
but this
glossy
one
ones.
because the first, but this one, like I'm gonna say also this one because that's my favorite. The first one's my favorite horror film of all time. The Hellraiser franchise.
Okay, see, that's another one. I've seen Hellraiser 1 and 2, but I haven't seen like there's like 6 of them, right?
There's a lot. There's like a lot. There's three. There's three: Bloodline, Inferno, Hellseeker, Deader, Hellworld, Revelations, Judgment, and then they remade it just last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. So
There's 11 Hellraiser films.
that's crazy. Another one that like they made so many is Children of the Corn. They made like 6 of those.
That's about 11 too. Like
Is it 11?
I've seen all of them except for the 2009 version.
Okay.
It is a chore to get through that franchise. Like
I
it is a
imagine.
chore to get through like them. Even though I did enjoy Children of the Corn 4, and I obviously really liked the first one. Like
Mhm.
but 2 was painfully mediocre because they had a lot of potential. But the rest of them range from like either like just flat out unwatchable or just they're just terrible. Like
Yeah, I've only seen the original.
I just recently also like I think it was last month or no 2 months ago actually. I watched the newest one, the remake from this year.
Okay.
It was bad. Like it was really really bad. Like
Talk about bad remakes. The only movie I can think of in recent memory that I didn't even finish because I thought it was so horrible was that Firestarter remake.
I had to sit through that in theaters. Like
Oh my god. I
it
got
was
about
not only was the movie bad, but I had a terrible theater experience.
yeah, I got about 35 minutes in and I was like, why what am I doing to myself? And I turned it off.
I'm trying to think of another really bad horror remake. Because there's some horror remakes that I actually do enjoy. I mean,
There's quite a
this
few
one
horror remakes
this
that I
one's gonna
think
be
are better.
controversial, like for a lot of people, though.
I think there's quite a few remakes that are better than the originals.
That
Uh,
might I mean Ring. I mean, The Ring I think is better than the original Japanese film. Like
yeah, they're close. I like them both. I think the Dawn of the Dead remake is better than the original. I
I can
like it.
kind of agree with that, but I was gonna say My Bloody Valentine. I actually like the remake more than the original.
Okay, I haven't seen those ones.
But this one was but the one I was gonna say though is gonna be very controversial to a lot of people.
Okay.
The Nightmare on Elm Street remake I actually do enjoy.
Oh, that is controversial, but I have not seen the remake. I have it. I own it. I own all the movies, but I for some reason have not watched that remake yet. But I've heard not great things.
I like it enough. Like I didn't really view it as a Nightmare on Elm Street movie though, because they take a lot of different liberties, like even just from the original, but they also kind of make it a little bit more different than what you would expect from a typical Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Okay, yep, yep. Yeah, there's a lot of the Crazies with George Romero. I think that remake is better than the original. Not that George Romero made the original, but I think the remake is better than the original.
Nadia, you crack me up sometimes. I thought you were going to say the Child's Play remake.
You
And
know,
look, I
it's
like the Child's Play remake a
I
lot,
was gonna
but
say
nothing
it's
will be
not.
the original.
Yeah, it's not on the same level as the original, but I will say that remake, if you can get past the Mark Hamill thing voice and like kind of
Well,
odd,
morely I would say the look of the doll. Like
yeah, but that movie has some excellent kills in it.
yes, and I love. I mean, I actually did like Mark Hamill's voice as Chucky, but it's just the look of the doll really bothered me. Like,
Well, yeah, there's some great kills. One of the lawnmower, that's the one coming to mind first. There's another one where something I forget the dynamics of it, but there's a lot of good kills in that one.
really good kills, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
It's actually another really good remake since you mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street that a lot of people don't like is uh Friday the 13th.
I was about to say it was going to be Friday the 13th. I mean,
A very
a
different
good
film.
remake, but I honestly prefer the original. Like,
They're very different because the Friday the 13th remake has a big hulking, Jason,
But the
whereas
first one is his mom is
yeah,
killing those teenagers at Camp Crystal Lake because he
so
drowned.
they're totally different, but the
Because
remake,
the first one's more of a revenge film, and the remake is actually following what the Friday the 13th franchise was all about. Jason actually running and killing people. Like,
yeah, I liked how they kind of had showed how he had like underground passageways in the remake, how he was getting around so quick and whatnot.
yeah, I liked that. But honestly, in regards to my favorite of the franchise, nothing will beat Part Six. Like Part
Of,
Six
of
is
Jason.
like, yeah, Jason Lives. Um,
Okay.
that one
That's a
will never be
beautiful.
beat. Like it's so ridiculous.
I like that one. That's my second favorite. I like part 4 the best.
Nice, nice. Like,
Part 4, it's got that great dance scene with Crispin Glover in it.
hey Ted, where the hell is Corkscrew?
But yeah, that's
And then
got.
he gets the corkscrew on his hand, and then a machete to the face. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
talk
that's what,
about
what I
brutal.
was saying. I think the Jason. I know a lot of people hate on Jason 10. You gotta know what you're getting into, though. I think throw him in space, and I mean that movie has some crazy kills as well, where he's in the simulation and he takes the girl in the sleeping bag and like bangs her against a tree. Of course, the when he freezes that person's head and smashes it. So I can
Yeah, I mean
appreciate.
that movie's. I look, man. Like that. Besides that one kill, I don't like that movie. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's not a great movie, but it's very unique. He almost looks like a super shredder at one point. Um,
yeah, but
I think that the bad films in the Friday the 13th franchise are not as bad as the bad films in the Halloween franchise.
I can actually agree with that. But this is going to be
Halloween
another
has
controversial take, though, for the Friday the 13th franchise. I don't hate Jason Takes Manhattan. I
I
don't
don't
hate it.
I don't really hate any of them. There's some bad Chucky movies. Like Seed of Chucky is freaking terrible. There's some bad Michael Myers movies for sure. I think that the whole Curse of Thorn trilogy in the middle there, I thought those movies were not very good.
Like I hated like five at least. I can like even though five is terrible, I can at least have guilty pleasure fun with it because it's so easy to make fun of it.
in Halloween.
But yeah, for like Halloween 5, like that movie is so easy to make fun of. Like
Hmm.
there's so many things that just occur in Halloween 5 that are just like they scream just to be made fun of. Like but Resurrection though, like everybody says it's so bad it's good because of one line. Like
Which
trick or
line?
treat, motherfucker.
Oh
Like
yeah, I don't hate Resurrection. I think it's kind of a fun premise where it's the reality crew and they get killed off and blah blah blah. I mean, I don't hate that as much as a
hate
lot of
it.
people do.
It is easily my least favorite Halloween movie and one of my least favorite movies of all time. I hate Halloween Resurrection. Like
How do you feel
it's
about the Rob
so
Zombie
boring.
films?
Like it's
How do
so
you feel?
boring.
How do you feel about the Rob Zombie Halloweens?
The first one's fine, but even after a second watch, I actually really admire Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like I
Hmm.
enjoy those movies. Like I mean, yes, they don't really add much to the Halloween lore,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're fun. Like I
That's
kind
how
of
I feel
accept
about.
that.
I don't remember Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one, that well. I have it, but I've heard some people really praise that movie. But I can have fun with the first Rob Zombie Halloween. Like a lot of people really hate the first chapter of Halloween remake where it shows him as a kid and his kind of gritty, family environment. But I actually really like the first chunk of the first Rob Zombie Halloween.
Yeah, but I honestly will take the new trilogy over the Rob Zombie movies any day of the week. Like no question about it. Like
Yeah.
I actually do enjoy like I love Halloween 2018. That's my second favorite of the franchise. Like like I adore that movie.
Hmm.
Um Kills, critically speaking, not very good. Like if you're speaking on the film as a critic, it's not good. But
Yeah.
if you're looking at it as a silly, over the top, fun Halloween movie with Michael Myers just going all out and killing people, it's an awesome time. Like
Hmm.
so, I kind of view it morely as a silly, dumb movie with Michael Myers just killing people. Like
Okay. Yeah.
so, and I enjoy Halloween Kills. Ends though is very controversial. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about Ends? I've only seen Halloween Ends once, and it's gonna get a lot of hate how they did Michael so dirty and how they just pretty much made him so weak. But if you can, I guess I gotta rewatch it. But I remember not hating it as much as everyone did. But I can see the anger because you're taking this beloved icon, Michael Myers, and it's supposed to be his last film, and he's just relegated to just being this weak thing in a cave that just gets essentially, Corey. Is it Corey? The
yeah,
guy's
Corey Cunningham.
yeah. He essentially just like beats him up and takes his mask away from him, and so nobody wants to see their favorite horror icon step out like that. But as far as just a slasher or a horror movie, if you can step away from that aspect of it, I don't remember it being that awful.
I kind of mostly look at it as kind of like an anthology, like with the way that they do Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is basically kind of like an anthology movie.
Hmm.
So I like how Halloween ends enough for what it is. I've seen it about 3 times. Like, it's an enjoyable movie. Like,
Okay, yeah, I've only
I mean,
seen it once. I haven't gotten that one. I'm gonna get it just because I have all the Halloweens, so I gotta round out the collection. I'm just waiting for that one to a nice Black Friday sale, 9.99 would be good.
yeah, I mean, I understand that, but sorry to say though, but I actually already have all 3 of them.
Yeah, I got the first two, but I'm waiting on the last one.
I actually pre-ordered Ends though because I mean I just really like the cover. Like I like how all 3 covers are matching.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
probably gonna miss out on that slip cover for Ends, but it's all right.
yeah, but the only one I don't have a slipcover for is obviously 2018 because I got it at a used store.
Okay.
So let's see. Crazy's remake is much more horror than the original. Okay, I've yet to watch them both though.
Yeah, the remake's good.
See, Nadia says I'll take Friday the 13th remake over OG any day. Fair enough. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, some people do. Talking to my buddy Jacob Hubbard, yeah, he loves the remake. Seed of Chucky is grade A B movie. I formally would disagree. I hate Seed of Chucky. It's terrible. Like,
I can
that's one
see
of
like
those films where it's
being able to
like
pop it in and just have fun and laugh at it.
it's hard. It's honestly hard for me to do that. Like, except for when the kid kills his own father. Like, when the kid doll, like when he actually kills Chucky. It's
Yeah.
so easy to laugh at because the gore in that situation looks so fake. Like,
Mm.
in my opinion. Zombies Halloween 1 is great. Haven't seen 2. 2 is actually I actually like 2. Nadia doesn't though. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't
Seed
think
is great, especially when Glenda speaks Japan. Oh jeez.
I don't remember that scene. It's been a while since I've seen it, honestly. Um, I just
I
remember.
cringed my eyes out with that scene. Like, it was so cringeworthy. Oh, did a jump. Let me see. Gotta find out what I gotta find out what this white horse business is.
Yeah, I guess there's some type of dream sequence with a white horse or something. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
My boy Mikey got neutered in X. I know, but it's
And
also
then,
another one of those films that sometimes you just got to turn your brain off and throw all logic out the window.
mhm. You- the
Well,
white
the
horse.
beginning of Halloween 2 is basically the entire movie of the original Halloween 2,
Hmm.
but then it just goes to 2 years later. So it's a lot different than the original.
Okay, yeah.
So man, it's not bad at all, but it's. I mean, I can't say it's a great movie though.
It's a divisive one. Those films in general, people will either enjoy them or they really, really hate them. So
I mean, a lot of Rob Zombie's films are very divisive, like because
yeah,
he has his fans. Like,
yeah. I've seen House of Thousand Corpses, but I have not seen the other ones. Devil's Rejects I might have seen, but I don't remember it, and I have not seen Three from Hell. I mean to, I might save them for October, Halloween month, but I got to check those ones out.
yeah, but and
Didn't he
I
just make some
do.
horrible movie, the Monsters or whatever? Didn't he do that? It was
fuck
bad.
that movie.
I haven't seen it because I knew
That
better.
film was terrible. Like
Yeah.
that film doesn't even appeal to like the fan base of the monsters. Like the people that actually love the monsters will feel offended by that movie. I mean, I never even watched a single episode of that show, and it's like this movie doesn't even appeal to anybody besides Rob Zombie. He just made that movie for himself.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but I mean, usually I don't always like to buy. I mean, I can't always buy bad movies because I mean I'll be an idiot. But sometimes I buy bad movies just for the sake of having them because sometimes you gotta have some bad movies to offset the goodness in your collection. Because let's be real, you can't always have the good movies.
Yeah, and I like I said, I give horror a pass on that. Like if I know that like, it's a really bad drama, or if it's a really bad, sci-fi movie, or if it's a really bad comedy or something, I'm not gonna get it. But horror, if I know it's bad, still like that genre just gets a pass from me. Like I'll take all the, because whether it's cheesy, bad because it's so cheesy, and I guess another genre that I have some very poor films is martial arts films. Like there's some just so bad, like so bad it's good type, like it's ridiculous. Like a Samurai Cop, one one of the worst movies ever. But
Couldn't
like,
even do a nighttime scene. They couldn't even afford to do that.
have you seen Samurai Cop?
I've seen it, yeah, and it's like
Half that whole movie he has a wig on because he shaved his hair off, and then the director was like, "Oh, we have to reshoot a bunch of the movie." So like half the movie he has real hair, and half the movie he's wearing a big wig on his head.
and most of the time, like when he had the wig on, it looked like it was about to fall off.
Oh yeah, terrible dialogue. What's another? We were talking about this in a group chat. I forget who was in it, but have you seen The Fanatic?
That movie with John Travolta.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
ridiculous.
dear God.
It is ridiculous.
It's so terrible.
Unbelievable. Some of the scenes when he's in Devon Sawa's house, and then there's some scene where he puts on like a big moose head and is like dancing around or something, and
Moose is in the house. Like,
oh, that
and
movie
then
is
he goes back to Hunter's house, and then he ties him up to his bed, dresses up like freaking Jason, and pretends to kill him.
yes, and then it randomly just gets really violent. Like Devon Sawa randomly, like, doesn't he do something like cuts his finger off or something crazy?
He shoots his fingers off with a
Okay.
shotgun, like, and then he kicks him down a flight of stairs. He um, he shoots holes near his ears, and then he stabs him in the eye.
Yeah.
And
All
then
of a sudden, it just gets really brutal.
and then all of a sudden he just opens the door and then just pushes him out of the door.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And like John Travolta's wig in that movie, that's another one where it's like it looked like it was about to fall off. Like
Yeah, it's interesting. Somebody the caliber of John Travolta, who's as seasoned in the movie game, they send him a script and he reads it, and it's directed by Fred Durst.
the lead
And
singer of Limp Bizkit.
yeah, so what makes a guy like John Travolta say, "I'm in"? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Fred Durst was like, "Hey man, I'll pay you trillions of dollars for this."
So weird. He
But
also
obviously he wouldn't do that though.
shamelessly plugged Limp Bizkit in his own movie.
That's when I was like, done. Like, because it's like, dude, how can you just like have a character just plug out that he loves your band?
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is way too self indulgent. Like, it's I don't even know how to talk about that movie without even laughing. Like,
Yeah, the opening line of the entire film is "Can't talk, gotta poo."
can't take too long. I gotta poo.
It's ridiculous.
That's the first line that comes out of his mouth. Like, what in the hell, dude? Like, I mean, I know Fred Durst has had experience directing before because I know he directed some music videos for Limp Bizkit. I know he directed a couple movies, but they're movies that no one's really ever heard of.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know he had any experience.
Like he directed the movie The Long Shots with Ice Cube and Kiki Palmer, and then the Education of Charlie Banks with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, he has that experience directing, but it's like when you do a comeback to direct a movie, that's the movie you give us. Like,
I thought, I guess in my head, I thought that was like his directorial debut.
I honestly thought so myself too. I was like, oh my god, this is not gonna be good. Like, even like when I was on a trip to Ohio at one point, I was just scrolling on my phone looking through IMDb, and I say, oh, The Fanatic, cool. And then the reviews start coming out, and I'm like, that's the movie. Like,
I would love to have seen that movie in a packed theater.
because I know Chris Stuckman saw it, and he did a hilariosity, and he was in the theater all alone. Like,
Yeah, that would be a fun one to watch in a packed theater, though, and just seeing people's reactions.
especially like when he's in Hunter's house and he takes pictures with him, like
Yeah,
even kissing him on his forehead.
it's ridiculous.
Seriously, it's hard not to talk about that movie without laughing. Like,
I'm actually
it's difficult.
talking about it now. I'm actually surprised that movie didn't get more, blowback from like people saying that it was like hateful toward like people with special needs or something.
That's yeah. Everybody just looked at it as like the so bad it's good movie of 2019. Like, I mean, it is, but let's be real though, it's still bad.
Yeah.
Like there's always a movie every year that people call like the guilty pleasure movie of the year. Like there's always that one movie.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like 2021, I know a lot of people call Tom and Jerry the so bad it's good movie of 2021.
Okay, I
When
didn't see that.
that was bad. Like, it was bad. But if I were to speak on like last year's guilty pleasure movie, for me it would easily be Moonfall.
Moonfall.
Like,
Yeah, that's one I got strictly for the 4K experience. I hadn't seen it, but I picked up the 4K. I have a pretty good setup in my little home theater area, which is in my basement. So I have like height channel speakers that come right down over the top of me, the 2 subwoofers, like 6 surround channels. So I was like, all right, I heard this is a pretty good disc at least. Let me check this out. And it's, it's not the best movie, but on a nice big screen with surround sound, it's fun.
yeah, for sure. But it's still it's pretty laughably terrible. Like, let's see. I mean, I think honestly, I don't know. I mean, Tom and Jerry's one of them though. But I mean, in regards to also ones from 2021 that I can think of, because I know a lot of people like this franchise. It's like, I don't understand how you guys enjoy this movie, Fast 9. Like,
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that one.
it's bad. Like,
I'm not huge.
seriously, they
I'm not
get a
huge on,
car. Seriously, Tyrese and Ludacris get a car and put it on a rocket, and they go to space.
so then what? Do they drive around and they
So
can't
they have
drive
to like set up a freaking satellite or something like that. And it's like, if you're gonna go to space, just go in a rocket. Don't use a freaking car.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost sounding like so ridiculous and over the top that it treads into good again.
But then it's like, no, it's not. Like, because it's like they take it like, because it's like, seriously, when you have it like be so dead serious, it's like you're taking all the fun out of it.
Yeah, you have to be a bit more self-aware, for sure.
That's
Like
how Fast X was. Like, Fast X was honestly a little bit more self-aware.
that's like the Shyamalan movie, The Happening. It's
Hey,
not
what's going
good.
on? All these trees, these bees are flying all over the place. Come on, guys, take an interest in science.
It's not good, but it's not taking itself too seriously. So you can watch that movie and just have so much fun with it.
Yeah, get some hot dogs and have a good time watching it.
You like hot dogs, don't you? And another one, Shyamalan. Speaking of Shyamalan, I took some heat on this because I said that it was quite bad, and it's old.
I've actually also gotten heat for that too, even though I don't hate it.
I
Like,
don't hate it either. The premise is so intriguing and fun. It's like an episode of the Twilight Zone, but the freaking dialogue is so laughably terrible in that movie. That's like, how did M. Night Shyamalan read this script and approve this dialogue, and then when these actors deliver the dialogue, it's just as bad. It's like, I have that one on 4K, and I've given it.
Yeah, he actually wrote the script. He wrote it.
Yeah, well, Jesus, man, get someone else to write your scripts then, because that was I was on a stream and it was everything I watched in the month of May stream, and I said something to the effect of Old was like you took a really really smart middle schooler, and like he had never written a script for a movie and let him write the script for Old, like, and that's what you would get.
Yeah, I mean, I can't admit that some of the dialogue honestly really hurts the film, but as a film though, I did enjoy it. Like,
It's got the again, the premise is great, and it's got some pretty good kills toward the end. The scene in the cave where the one woman suffers from the bone disease, and she just keeps on breaking all her bones, but then they heal really really quickly, but in the wrong position, and she just like becomes this disfigured like corpse.
she's like crawling around like a crab, and it's like,
Yeah, which is a pretty interesting, how the bone breaks, but then it heals all messed up because it happens so quick.
because that was kind of the premise though. Like they age rapidly, so things can honestly happen to their bodies quickly, even like with their bones.
Yeah, and then the girl getting pregnant and giving birth in like a couple hours.
Because seriously, like the kids are 7, 8 years old, and then they go and then they age into their early 20s in a couple of hours, and then they go fucking a tent.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
They don't even address that though. Like, that's the weirdest thing about it. The movie doesn't even address it. It's like, okay, it happened, and it's just like, what just happened? Like,
And it has a lot of scenes of like exposition where you'll have a character like giving his theory or something, or pretty much like we talked about earlier, what Nolan doesn't do, like holding the audience's hand through the plot.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing the way that they do that. Like, and that's kind of an issue with Shyamalan though, is that he does have the tendency to always over-explain his twists. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, that was one of my little negatives with Knock at the Cabin. Like, he had this little tendency to over-explain his twists.
Yeah. And I think that film could have benefited if it just ended like 5 minutes before, and instead of them driving to the diner and seeing that everything worked out okay, and then you know, all that. But
Yeah, I mean, but hey, I mean, but I'll be honest though. I mean, I know a lot of people had their issues with the ending. I thought the ending actually was actually pretty ballsy. Like,
mhm. Yeah, a lot of people don't know how much that strays from the book though. Like that would have been a brutal turn if the film did the same thing the book did as far as the fate of Wen. But I understand why they kind of strayed away from that.
because they honestly would, because that honestly would have put people in a bad mood if they actually really killed off a kid like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
think Tracy's gone, but in the book anyways, yeah, she accidentally gets shot like where there's still like 100 pages left. So she dies like it's not even the end. It's like there's still a bit left after.
exactly, and that's something I also love about the Black Phone is that whenever the kids get kidnapped, like they just fade to black because it's like, and that's what's scarier about it. Like, they don't show you exactly how they die. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, I liked the Black Phone. I thought when he started getting phone calls, I only saw it once in theaters, but and like the guy's telling him like what the pattern of moves he'll have to do to escape, and like it shows the kid like practicing sliding around and punching, and then it like all works out, like how he just like punches the guy over or something. Or I don't know. I thought that was a little bit like, all right, so some little kid's gonna like slide back and punch, and I don't know. I thought like that was a little bit weird.
I mean, it was to show that sometimes the kids are smarter than the actual killer. Like,
Hmm.
because you think that the grabber like would actually have like a brain, like,
Yeah, yeah.
but sometimes it goes to show that the killers might be a little bit dumber than you think. Like,
Mhm. That's another really good horror from that I think it was the same year. I really enjoyed Barbarian. I thought that was an interesting horror movie.
2022 was a great year for horror films.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, we had
Barbarian. What else came out that year?
X and Pearl came
Yep,
out last year. Yeah, the Black Phone, Barbarian, Smile came out last year.
yep. I watched Smile on streaming when it hit Peacock or something. I was able to watch it.
It was on Paramount Plus.
Paramount, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, that was great.
Did Scream 6? That's on Paramount Plus though. Yeah, that's the one I don't have now is Paramount Plus.
It's on Paramount Plus now. It's for Scream 6, but
Yeah, yeah.
5
I
came
had
out last year.
yeah, I had Paramount Plus, but I ended up getting rid of it because I have too much. I have Peacock, I have HBO, Netflix, Disney, all these. So I was like, all right, I gotta trim some of the fat here, and for whatever reason, I got rid of Paramount.
Yeah, I mean, but let's see what else came out last year. I mean, Terrifier 2 came out last year.
I own that, but I still haven't seen it. I gotta watch that one soon.
You have to watch it, dude. It's so good.
I watched the first one, but I haven't seen the second yet. But I got the 4K.
I actually have 2 copies of Terrifier 2. I have 2 copies. I have the standard Blu-ray that my watch along co-host sent to me, and then I picked up the 4K not too long ago.
It's like 2.5 hours long, is it?
2 hours and 18 minutes. It's close to 2.5 hours, but it actually flies by. Like,
so is it all centered around like in like a diner setting or something, or?
no, it's more like focusing on an actual character. Like it's actually telling more of a story than it was than the first one did.
Okay.
Because the first one didn't really have a plot. Like,
yeah,
all it was just these 2 teenage girls that are being stalked by Art the Clown.
yeah, pretty much.
But even though the premise of the second one may sound like just like the first one, like because Art the Clown is resurrected and then he's targeting Sienna and her younger brother on Halloween night. Pretty much the same concept, but they delve deeper into a little bit of our main character instead of just focusing on Art the Clown just killing people.
Well, with 2 hours and 18 minutes, they better delve deeper into it.
And like even like with like, because seriously, like you have a final girl that you can really get behind, like this time around, where it's not just like, oh, she's just seeing things like this and stuff like that, like, you know.
Yeah. I gotta check it out. I feel like I might wait for October. Like there's a couple movies like I picked up Carrie 4K. I've seen Carrie, but I haven't watched my 4K. But you know, a lot of this the horror stuff I might save because right now I'm trying to watch all the Criterion films in my collection that I haven't seen. So there's I think 6 of them. So I want to be all caught up on that before the sale next month. And then next month is going to be watching a lot of the new Criterion pickups. And then before you know it, you're into the fall already.
Yep. Trying to see what else we had from last year. Oh yeah, we had Prey. I mean, technically it's not really a horror movie, but I count it because it's part of the Predator
franchise. That one. I watched that one. I enjoyed it.
Let's see. Nope was also really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The new Hellraiser came out last year. I mean, this one I don't really consider to be a horror movie, but it has like murderous elements in it to actually make me think it actually feels like a horror movie. The Menu.
Okay, yeah, I watched that one on streaming.
That is such a funny movie. Like,
yeah, that movie. Thank God. What's the actor's name? Ralph Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. He did great, and if he carried that movie, I feel like.
Yeah, but it was him and Anya Taylor-Joy that honestly really propelled the movie. Like, let's see, what's another one? Bodies was a good one.
That one I didn't see. I actually avoided that one because I was hearing people saying that, which was very annoying. And I watched the trailer, and the characters seemed to be very annoying. So I was like, all right, I'll just pass on that one. But I've heard
something poking fun at Gen Z people. Like,
yeah, but in the act of poking fun at Gen Z people, you're inevitably exposed to a bunch of it at the same time.
So yeah, it can get annoying, but morely, like people my age would enjoy that movie. Like, Men was also really polarizing for a lot of people.
It was. It's a trippy one for sure.
So yeah, I like that. I do like that one.
I thought the tunnel scene in that movie in particular was awesome.
Very creepy. Like, honestly, a really underrated horror film from last year. And also a really big surprise, Orphan First Kill.
Yeah, I I
That
like,
was a
you know,
surprisingly good movie. Like,
thank God for the twist in Orphan First Kill, because I think it really, really needed it. I think I was kind of like, oh, this movie's just more of the same, more of the same. But then when the tables kind of turn on her, and the mother of the family's like turns out to be just as like ruthless in a sense as she is, and they kind of have that back and forth. I thought that that was really saved it for sure.
yeah, and plus by that moment you're starting to root for Esther. It's not like you're
Yeah.
just rooting for this family to just murder this little girl. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, so that was very, very important that that little wrinkle happened there because otherwise, I don't know, it needed it.
yeah, and also the body doubles that they used for Isabel Furman to actually look like a little girl again was actually really impressive. Like,
Hmm.
because they didn't just do like effects on like her body or anything like that. They actually used body doubles.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's that. This other one. Well, obviously we had Halloween Ends. We all know how that was.
hmm.
Um, Fresh on
Fresh was
Hulu.
Fresh was very good. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Very twisted movie. Like that's another one where it's like,
Very twisted.
um, where it's like if you look at the title, it's like, oh, Fresh. I don't know what that is. Yeah, just don't look up what it's about. Just watch that movie and know nothing about it.
Yeah, that one, that's a crazy movie.
Yeah, very dark, twisted movie where it's like it'll just subvert all your expectations. Like,
Yep. Now, what year are you still pulling from? 2022?
yep, from last year. Like, because there's a lot of good horror films from last year. Um, this little low budget horror film that I don't that a lot of people are obviously not talking about. Christmas Bloody Christmas.
And is that's the one with like the Terminator Santa, right?
Yep. Um, it looks like a robotic Santa on the cover.
Yeah, I watched that one.
This oh my god,
Terminator
this is,
Santa.
it's wild, dude. I kind of love it though. It's pretty wild. But that's Joe Bigos for you. I mean, if you watched something like Bliss or VFW, you kind of know what movie you're getting into with Joe Bigos. Like,
Okay, yeah. Haven't seen those. Have you seen Skinamarink?
I hated it. I
Yeah,
hated it. I thought it was terrible. I'm sorry. Like for anyone that loves Skinamarink, I'm sorry. I hated it. Like
I couldn't get through it. I think uh it deserves a full watch, but I couldn't. I stopped around 45 minutes and I never went back.
yeah, and I also love the fact that the director was actually getting success when the film was playing in theaters because it
Hmm.
was like it gives him potential to actually make good horror films later on in his career.
Yeah. I was just thinking of one too, and somebody in the comments actually brought it up, Holland. There was a really messed up movie that came out called Speak No Evil.
I heard
Uh,
about that one, but I haven't watched that yet.
it's got one of the most brutal endings I've ever seen in movies, like ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a feel good ending by any stretch. And then another one that he mentioned there, it's a movie I really enjoyed called You Won't Be Alone, and it was very, very good. If that's from
I
2022 as well.
would like to check out You Won't Be Alone though. I would like to watch that.
Yeah, that's a very good
Um,
one.
but speaking of bad horror films from this year, you did touch upon a Skinamarink.
Hmm.
Um, Fear, the one that came out earlier this year, back in January.
Fear.
Yeah, the movie called, but also they also put the original title in it called Don't Fear.
Oh, okay, I thought at first you were talking about those Fear Street movies.
No, it's just a movie called Fear. Like
I don't think I've heard of that one.
it's directed by the same guy that did both the Meet the Blacks movies and The Intruder.
Okay.
So yeah, you're not in for a good movie.
Okay, I'll avoid it then. I'm looking at 2022 here. A weird one that I thought was pretty interesting. You ever see The Hatching?
Which one?
The Hatching. It's like a little girl gets like this giant bird egg that she takes care of, and then it hatches into this giant bird creature.
I don't think
And
I watched that one.
I don't remember much more than that poor description, but I remember it being at least well made film. It's just called Hatching.
I have to check that out soon.
There it is.
A pretty underrated one in my opinion that not a lot of people liked from last year was The Invitation.
Why do I
I thought that
feel like
was
I've seen it? I I might have. I think there's a couple movies with that title.
yeah, but I'm talking about the vampire one. Like, but if you've watched the trailer, then you basically know what the twist is.
It's a vampire movie.
Yeah, with Natalie Emmanuel from Fast and Furious.
Okay, yeah, I think this was in yeah, not too long ago. This was in theaters, right?
It was in theaters in August.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I heard mixed things on that one. I haven't seen that one though.
Did you watch the trailer though?
Maybe, but I don't. It's not ringing any bells.
Okay, good. If you don't remember the trailer, then good because the trailer spoils the twist.
But doesn't she like go to some place to meet her boyfriend's family, and then they try to convert her into a vampire or something?
That was the twist is the entire family is vampires.
Yeah, yeah,
And also she was the bride of Dracula.
yeah. Okay.
That's the dude. And I'm not even spoiling it because it was given in the freaking trailer.
Yeah, it's a problem.
So yeah, screw you, Sony. Um, but without a doubt, though, the worst horror film from last year was Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Like,
Yeah, I avoided that once everybody started talking about it.
it's terrible. But the worst one from this year, though, no contest, is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I haven't seen that one. I've seen yeah, no, I haven't seen Blood and Honey. I think is that streaming yet? I heard
You,
it was
you,
just awful
it's like the only way you can stream it is if you pay to watch it.
though. Okay.
Like, and it's like that looks like a Tubi original movie. Like,
Okay, yeah. So did you go to theater? So you went to theaters for that one, huh?
nope,
Okay, you didn't.
no, I didn't. I was fair enough to not give that film any money.
Okay, so you haven't seen it, but you've heard very bad things.
No, I have seen it, but it's just
Okay.
I didn't see it in the theater. I was able to. I mean, just don't tell anybody. I was able to find a way to watch it at home.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I heard
So
that was horrible.
that's the biggest problem with that film is that they don't even try to have fun with the Winnie the Pooh concept. Like all they do is it's a dead serious slasher movie.
Yeah, I read or not read. I watched a review put out by Cody Leach's channel, and he was saying how horrible it was. So
Yeah, and then even the production company came at him for that movie, like
came at
because
Cody Leach.
yeah, the
Really?
production company Jagged Edge Productions came at him.
For his opinion on the movie.
Yeah, like and seriously, like production companies need to chill out, like
I
because
mean,
that's the thing. Like,
you're putting a piece of your content out there. People are going to review it and talk about it. I mean, come on.
I mean, plus you made the film and you charge people for it, like
Yeah.
so you win no matter what. Like even if you don't make back the box office, you still win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because seriously, your idea worked. Like you made enough money. Run to the bank, laugh all you want.
Yeah.
Because seriously, the if you don't know, the film's reported budget was under $100,000.
Yeah. So even if it was terrible, I'm sure it made money,
It made $3.8 million in 1 week.
which is scary because you might get sequels then.
They announced the sequel before the film was even released. Like, and even a cinematic universe of children horror movies.
Yeah, that's
They announced that before the film was even released.
yeah, I don't yeah, geez. I wonder which one
Like
they're
they
gonna
announced
cancel now.
obviously a Blood and Honey sequel. They announced a Peter Pan, a Bambi horror film, and now they announced a Sleeping Beauty horror film.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea if you find somebody really competent and really, do it
And
right.
able to actually not take it seriously.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it has to be has to have a certain tone to it, but done right, it'd be something
seriously, that's the stupidest thing. You get hillbilly dudes wearing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet masks, killing people like basically in any way that you would ever see in a normal slasher movie.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I had heard in his review is that they didn't do anything original with the property of Winnie the Pooh. It was just people in masks.
It's stupid. I mean, And plus, the production company needs to stop going at people's comment sections and taking issue like with a what I wouldn't say just take issue. Like they should just take the criticisms and just move on in life.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Because I mean, I even reviewed it like, and even touched upon some of the Twitter drama that happened with the film.
yeah.
Like, because I was getting tired of people like I was feeling bad for people like that were going through that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to touch upon that and just be like, guys, don't be a jerk about it. Just understand that people don't like your film, even though you made enough money at the box office. So because a lot of people want to go see it, take the win and leave us alone.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. I mean, you would think it wouldn't be.
Yeah, and then watch like the production company's going to come at me and be like, "You're saying too much." I'm like, "Look at me, look at me." Like all I'm saying is just respect our opinions and leave us alone. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be like if the director of the remakes of White Men Can't Jump and House Party started coming at me for my opinion because I hated both of those movies.
Ugh, I didn't bother with either of them, but it made me cringe just thinking about that White Man Can't Jump remake.
Yeah, and starring Jack Harlow in it. Like,
I mean, you know exactly what you're getting when you're just hiring a rap star to star in your movie, and ugh, it's
now
terrible.
look, I'll be honest. Like Jack Harlow has potential as an actor. Like, he could be a good actor. Like, I mean, I saw some of his skits on SNL, and he does seem like he has potential to be a good actor. But it's just you have to give him the right role.
Hmm.
That's all I'm saying. You have to give him the right role.
Yeah,
And that's the same with any rapper. Like you have to give him the right role, like the role that will fit them best.
yeah,
Like biggest example, like with Eminem and 8 Mile. Like even though he's basically playing himself, it worked out for him.
yeah.
So yeah, and if the director of both of those films was coming at me and being like, "Dude, you're wrong." Like it's like, dude, enough people saw your movie. I
The
don't know what your
director,
big deal is. Like enough people have watched your movie, and enough people have liked it. Just understand that you need to take these criticisms and not just make remakes of classic 90s films. Do something original for once.
yeah. People want the easy ticket to making some money.
That's what they call their easy ticket is basically making remakes of 90s classic 90s movies.
And that's why, even though I couldn't even finish Skinamarink, I can respect it for being something completely original.
Yes, exactly. Do you see the difference? Like
Yeah,
especially with Blood and Honey, it doesn't even deserve your money even though like it made enough money, but I mean like it doesn't deserve anybody's money. Like you should spend your time and hard-earned money elsewhere, like as Cody Leach would say, with a film
hmm,
like that, or even Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Like,
hmm,
but with something like Skinamarink, like I love the fact that Kyle Eberball, the director, was actually getting success for his film.
yeah.
Like,
And
the
honestly, even though I couldn't even finish the damn thing. It was so unique and different that I would pay attention to what he does next.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And that movie had to have actually made money because I feel like you could make Skinamarink for like $50 in a bag of chips or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. So we're talking about the hatching.
Yeah, it's just called hatching.
Oh, hatching. Okay. It
It's,
sounded. I thought you were calling it the hatching for a second.
I did at first, I think, by mistake.
Yeah, um, but I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of good horror films over like of this year and last year. There's been some good horror films.
Yeah. Do you have a Shutter subscription?
I do not know.
I have discovered so much independent horror from Shutter. It's only like $5.99, and if you're not familiar with it, it's a streaming service
Like
dedicated
I
just
I I actually know what Shutter is, but
yeah.
it's just I never use it. Like But if there was one time I ever want to use it, it's just to watch one movie on there, which is Psycho Gorman.
Okay. Yeah, they come out with a lot of original content actually, that are oftentimes pretty good, and they just have a lot of independent horror that you can't find anywhere else. So if you like that type of stuff, it's a pretty cheap membership. But yeah, this is The Hatching.
So that one's on Shutter.
This is just called Hatching. Sorry, I keep on saying The Hatching. When I watched it, it was actually on Apple Plus, but I think it's moved. It says now that it's on Hulu.
Oh, well, I guess I can watch it then.
Yeah.
Because I have Hulu.
Tinja is a 12-year-old gymnast who's desperate to please her image-obsessed mother. After finding a wounded bird in the woods, she brings its strange egg home, nestles it in her bed, and nurtures it until it hatches. The creature that emerges soon becomes her closest friend and a living nightmare, plunging Tinja into a twisted reality that her mom refuses to see. So yeah.
Sold. But I think like the best horror film so far this year, it's like the best one so far for me is Scream 6, like no doubt. Like without question. Evil Dead Rises up there for sure, but I mean
that's what I wanted to see in theaters, but I didn't get around to it, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out when that's available.
For Evil Dead?
Yeah.
That comes out on June 27th to physical. So
okay, yeah. I'll be grabbing that one.
I definitely will be grabbing that one too, because I mean I have all the Evil Dead movies like literally right here. Infinity Pool is also really cool. Very trippy, but it was cool.
Cronenberg.
Yep.
I haven't seen that one.
Very trippy, but it's really cool. I like it. I know it's technically more like these next two are more like comedies, but they have horror adjacent stuff in them. Cocaine Bear.
Yep, I watched. That's on Peacock.
Yep, I watched on Peacock.
I watched the first half hour, but something came up where I had to leave. I still have to revisit it, but that's one it seems like you can just have fun with.
Yes, and it's one of those films, but I feel like a lot of people have just been taking that film too seriously. And it's like, guys, look at the film's title.
Yeah, it's not taking itself too seriously, so why are you?
Bingo. Yeah. I mean, just look. Look at this.
Yeah, come on.
Or even like, look right here.
Yeah, it knows what it is.
When the bear just jumps to the ambulance.
It seems like it's a very self-aware movie.
And Elizabeth Banks knows exactly what movie she was making. Like, yeah. That's what's so good about it. Like, so yeah, that's that one. And also Renfield.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, just Nicolas Cage. I want to check that one out.
Okay, look, I don't mean to spoil the fun out of that movie. But there's not much Nicolas Cage Dracula in that movie, even though he is in the movie. But because the film is called Renfield, it's more like Renfield's story.
Is that the kid, or I don't even know really what it's about?
So basically, Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, was actually Dracula's servant for decades. Like, and he wants to get out of it. Like, he wants to actually live a normal life for once. And so he starts going to like these group meetings that kind of help him get out of being with Dracula. And I mean, even especially as he falls for this cop, played by Awkwafina. So,
okay.
But then they also get this like little drug lord subplot with Teddy Lobo, played by Ben Schwartz.
All right.
So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I don't want to give too much more away.
Have you seen Pig?
I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, that's a great one. I feel like a lot of people missed out on that one.
I agree. That might actually be my favorite Nicolas Cage performances in Pig. Like,
yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
But with Renfield, though, I mean, even when you see him on screen as Dracula, he's just as good as you hoped he would be. Like, like seriously, like, you only deserve suffering.
I really like too from Nicolas Cage. He doesn't even have any dialogue in the whole film. What the hell is it called? We stuck
Willy's
Willy's Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. He
That
doesn't.
movie's so much fun.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything, but it's kind of cool.
Like basically whenever he does say something though, it's all in the eyes. Like
But does he say any? Does he have any
he doesn't
words?
say anything though, but he's basically kind of but whenever like you see him like use those facial expressions, you can kind of tell he wants to say something.
Yeah.
But obviously he doesn't say a word throughout that entire movie. So yeah,
Easy,
I like that one a lot too.
easy to memorize your lines then, huh?
I mean, dude, like sometimes it's just such a memorable movie. Like even with Renfield, like there's so many memorable moments in that movie.
Yep. Yeah, I just
Like
want to check out. I might stream that one and then decide if I want to, at least right now, because it's probably still like 20, $25.
yeah, even though a lot of people are gorehounds and love practical effects, Renfield morely utilizes CGI blood. But let me clear up something really quick. This is also given in the trailer, so I'm not necessarily spoiling anything. When Renfield jumps from the third story of the motel, he hits a guy with his feet, and the only way he can gain power is if he eats bugs.
Okay.
So when he
Yeah.
stomps on a guy, like his body explodes.
Okay.
Like half of it, like his legs are like on this side, like of the motel, like where like the like the what do you call it, like the fence kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And then his body is like above that. So when Renfield stomps on him, like his body just explodes. Like
Okay, so yeah, I don't mind some over the top CGI blood. I can handle that.
yeah, but I'm just saying though, because the movie's a comedy, so
Yeah, I can
like
see people getting mad about.
you can't really get mad at that because the film's a comedy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of like my defense with Renfield, because I know a lot of people say that the gore just comes off extremely B-rate, but I kind of felt like that was the point though, because the film's a comedy.
Yeah. Again, it's a film, like we talked about with some other ones. Like it has to be aware of what it is, what it's trying to do, the tonality of the film. If it matches up with, if it's not, I mean, those things. Sometimes people miss out on what a film thinks it is or what it's trying to be, and they're just judging it based off of what they thought it was or what they think it should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like even with Cocaine Bear, like they thought it was just going to be the bear just killing people the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, clearly, if you just did that the whole time, the film would be boring. Like, like it would just get so repetitive so quickly to a certain degree where it's like I'm bored.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because there's human characters in the film that also do provide a lot of laughs. Like,
yeah, I got to finish that one. I got to go back and I got like an hour left, a little bit more than an hour left of that. I got to go back. I might have to rewatch the whole thing though, because it's been a few weeks. I don't really remember the first part that I watched.
the first part was when the bear murdered one of the hikers.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was hilarious. Like, or even like when the guy was throwing the drugs off the plane.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
That
a
was
little
also
hazy.
really funny. He just bumps his head and then he falls to his death. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart from the beginning, but
if I remember right, because I know Josh. If you know Josh Horowitz, he actually he does some live tapings of his podcast. I mean, he did one with Matthew Reese, and he was actually the one that he was the guy that was actually throwing the drugs from the airplane. Well, that was actually Matthew Reese.
Okay, cool.
So,
but for me over on my end here, East Coast is going on 4:00 pretty soon. I got to pick up my kid from school, so I'm gonna have to sign off.
yeah, I mean,
this was awesome. I appreciate you having me on and chatting some movies with me for a while.
yeah, absolutely. So, thank
Enjoy
you guys so much
tonight.
Yep, I will let you know what I think. Thank you guys that were in the chat for being here. You guys know who you are. Nadia, Tracy, Holland. You guys know who you are. Thank you for being here.
Midday. I know a lot of you guys might have been at work or busy. Only be able to pop in on your break or something. But yeah, thanks for Thanks for being there in the chat.
Yep. And thank you, Vin, for being here. Let everybody know where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, Hard Copy Blues, and then also on Instagram, same title, Hard Copy Blues. I do live streams, and I'm trying to put out more recorded content, but I'm kind of in a bit of a lull with that right now, but hopefully I'll get back into a regular schedule, definitely for July, because I'm going to be doing a lot of Criterion content in July. So if you like the Criterion collection, go ahead and check out my channel. And then if you have a Letterboxd account and you want to follow what I've been watching, you can find me on Letterboxd at ACETO866, and I log everything I watch through there.
Nice. Yeah, again, man, it was great having you here today. And I left a link in the description below that goes to his channel. So go subscribe to his channel.
Awesome.
Go give him some love. He deserves it. And why not subscribe to my channel as well? We're on the road to 500.
Oh yeah, with your consistency too, you're going to be there in no time.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Hit that thumbs up for Vin and I, because it helps us get our content out there, and it helps the algorithm as well.
Yep.
And of course, stay tuned for my review for Transformers Rise of the Beast, probably coming out tomorrow morning or so, depending on what time I get back from seeing it. Traditional movie reviews, of course, coming your way very soon, probably for The Flash, Elemental, of course, Indiana Jones. Why would I not go see that? I'm a big Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah.
And I still want to try to do some more retro reviews, because I kind of feel like I've been slacking on doing that. Like, I would like to do some, like, a retro review for like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, because the film's 25th anniversary is this year.
Yeah.
So I want to do that. But I'll think about it as I go along. So
yeah.
But again, we'll see. So thank you everybody so much for being here. We had a great time. We will see you all in the next one. Peace.